Welcome to the Streetscape Update. I'm Kim Best with the City of Goldsboro. Do you know what's happening in your city? Today I'll be joined by Gernaat with the DGDC and Josh Price, who is the project manager for Daniels & Daniels Construction. They'll be giving us an update on what we can expect to see in the next couple weeks. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Kim.
I wanted to jump right into discussion on the Streetscape project and giving the citizens an update. And I know sometimes it's difficult to visualize the end of a project like Streetscape that is a long project. Sometimes people don't remember and we don't see the importance and the long-term importance of a project such as Streetscape. Can you remind us one more time why it's important for the Streetscape project to start, begin, and end, and what kind of results we'll have at the end?
Sure. There is a pretty widespread misconception that all we're doing is adding sidewalks and paving. 75% of the project is actually underground work. We've been replacing the water lines. Many places they are so brittle that all it takes is a nick to cause a leak. And I'm sure a lot of folks read in the paper last week about the water line we hit when we were doing the undercut on the site. And it was a case of it just took scratching the top of that pipe for it to bust. So that's one of the important things we're doing is we're replacing those water lines. We're replacing, the electrical conduits, the storm drainage. We're updating structures and pipes that have been in place for 50 or 60 years, and that's a big part of the project. And a lot of folks, you read in the paper that we're refreshing sidewalks and doing paving, and yes, we are doing that to make it visually, visually impressive.
Right.
But a lot of what you don't see is the underground work, and that's what takes the most time.
So during the construction, of course, we're going to have mishaps every now and again. Phase one is our learning curve. That's the phase that we are setting the pace for the rest of the project. Has everything else gone relatively smoothly?
Everything
in phase
has.
one?
Everything has, and hitting the water line was unfortunate. It was a mistake made on our part, but we were able to isolate the leak within 15 minutes. We were able to have it fully repaired by lunchtime, and no one downtown lost water service. We did not interrupt services, and like I say, it was unfortunate that it happened. But we know going forward we need to be careful around those old lines. They're more brittle than what we expected.
Okay. All right, well, tell us a little bit about the dirt that is being brought in and what the purpose is of that.
Sure. During the soils investigation, we noticed there was a lot of organic material. There was a lot of ash and cinder in the soil. There were some places that were extremely wet, even when we'd had periods of dry weather. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing is we're bringing in dirt that's going to be able to support the road. We have a soils engineer on site watching us do the excavation so that we can ensure that the road won't sink. It'll hold up for 100 years, mm-hmm. and that we're going back and we're doing this project right.
Okay. So we had a question sent in to us from one of our Goldsboro citizens asking about the dirt and what the dirt was made of, what the reasons were that the dirt seemed to be so ashy. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm not a scientist or a historian, but it is very interesting that the ash that we're finding is right along where the old railroad tracks were. Right. So, maybe that's where they emptied their furnaces. It could be it could be a case where they burned some of the railroad ties when the citizens took the tracks up. But there is a considerable amount of ash.
Well, now let's move on to the traffic circle. And I know we've had some detours and various road closings in that area. Can you tell us what changes we can expect in the next couple weeks?
Sure. We began the traffic circle work, and we were going to do a phase closing of the lanes. Mm-hmm. Two things have happened. First, we've been able to move across the circle a lot faster than we anticipated.
Oh, that's great.
The work seems to be moving along faster than we could possibly phase the lanes. And then the second part is folks that live in Goldsboro have habits of driving through that circle. And just because we have detour signs up, a lot of people don't take the detours. So we were advised by DOT that the circle, anytime we're working out there, it needs to be closed. We are going to do our best to be done with that work in probably 2 to 3 weeks. Again, it is only going to be closed during the daytime from 9 to 4. So it will be open for the evening and the afternoon commute. But it's going to be really important for people to pay attention to the signs. We're routing, eastbound traffic is being routed down to Walnut Street, and westbound traffic is routed from James down 1 block, just past the soup kitchen. So you're not saving any time by pulling up and trying to go through the circle. It's actually quicker just to take the detour, and we're only routing you 1 block away. And like I say, we hope that work ends pretty quickly.
And that came straight from North Carolina DOT?
That did, yes it did.
So we don't have much of a choice about that. We have to follow regulations.
And it's
a
safety precaution.
Right. So. We're doing it to keep everyone in the city of Goldsboro safe. We know we want to go through the circle and let it be convenient, but we also want to keep everybody safe.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Josh. I appreciate the update, and everybody will look forward to seeing what happens in the next couple weeks.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Now we have with us Meg, and she's representing the DGDC, and she's going to give us some updates about the Streetscape project as well, and the local businesses that have been affected by the project. Meg, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming this morning, and I'm going to ask you one of the same questions that I asked Josh earlier this morning. Sometimes it's difficult to visualize the end of a project, especially when it's a long project. Tell me why it's important that Goldsboro is doing this entire project.
Well, you know, Goldsboro is a community that's full of so much pride, and you know, the residents, we have so many residents here who've been here their entire lives. I think it's really important that this community has a facelift. You know, it's important to remember that before this project even began, over 5 public forums were held with community members to get their opinion, to get their input, to make sure that this project was one that really reflected the community. And you know, it's time that Goldsboro has a facelift, especially when we have so many cities that are neighboring us that are doing so much to their areas, you know, to improve, to draw in investors. But at the same time, we need to increase our parking safety. This is going to improve the aesthetics of downtown, and really, you know, it's just going to boost morale for our downtown business owners. And I think over time, we will see that it's just going to be beautiful.
We hope so, and we expect it. And little bit by little bit, we're seeing the changes as they transpire. And you talked about other cities surrounding us that have done projects such as this. Tell us a little bit about those other cities that have done it and what benefits they've seen.
Well, cities all around the country have done streetscape projects like this, and they have seen just fantastic results. Raleigh invested $10 million into their Streetscape project, and over a course of 6 years they do $3 billion worth of investments into their community, and that's huge. Salisbury is another city that has done a lot of work to their downtown, and they saw $60 million worth of investment after their Streetscape project. You know, the first phases were underway and were completed. And across the board, all of these communities that have done projects of this kind have seen job growth, job retention, you know, investments. Just, you know, it's just a domino effect. When you put that time and that money and, you know, that investment into your community, you're going to reap the rewards.
Well, tell us about, have you had response or any type of people calling you, calling DGDC, wanting to find out about the Streetscape project, entrepreneurs that are wanting to investigate about our project, about the possibility of moving to Goldsboro?
We have. You know, over the next few months to 6 months, we're going to see 5 new businesses come downtown, 2 of which are already really downtown, and one is open, Dee's Sports Bar and Grill, and then we've got the Laughing Owl going in on Center Street.
Can you tell us where that's
Sure.
on Center Street?
Dee's Sports Bar is located on Center Street, right along where Murphy's used to be.
Okay.
Right down the road, and then Laughing Owl is actually going into the old Murphy's location.
So they're pretty close together.
Yeah, pretty close together. We've got, you know, a business that is an arts-based business that is going to be coming downtown. That's expected to be in about 6 months to a year. They've got to upfit a building to suit their needs, but there again, you know, we're fielding buildings that haven't been filled in years.
And they're doing upgrades to their buildings?
Right, they're doing upgrades to their buildings, which, you know, is going to bring other people downtown, and they're going to say, you know, wow, you know, they're doing a lot here, I want to be involved in this. And Goldsboro should be proud. This is a project that we designed with the knowledge from our community members and their opinions. So they should be proud of this project and, you know, be excited to see the end result.
Well, with 5 new businesses starting pretty soon, we're going to see some changes downtown.
Oh, yes.
We just have to keep telling our citizens, making sure everybody's aware of what's down there, and then we can go and go to these businesses, sponsor these businesses, be
Right.
a part of what's downtown. And, you know, we've had another new business open not too long ago. I believe it was the hot dog bar and
We did.
the twisted lemonade.
Yes, and it's delicious. They have so many flavors of lemonade, and it's all natural.
So they twist the lemonade up and do some unusual things.
Yeah, they make it like a martini. It's really cool. You know, you go in there, you get a lemonade and a little show, and you know, you're on your way. It's fabulous.
And it's open 5-6 days a week?
It's open 7 days a week.
7, wow, okay.
Their hours are on the DGDC website. So if you know anyone wants to know which businesses are downtown or what their hours are, they can visit our website, and we've got a whole list there.
So all the new businesses, we can go to DGD website, see their hours, when they're opening possibly,
Yes.
like for some of these new businesses. That's the place to go then.
Yeah.
All right, well thank you, Meg. Thank you for all this updated information. That's great to know. Our downtown seems to be growing, and that is the whole idea about Streetscape.
It is.
Infrastructure and growth. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For additional information on the Streetscape project, visit the city's website or Facebook page.